After all we have done, humans are hunting us.
I shouldn't care. What if he tells me that we're through?
Hello, and welcome to the fourth Film Ireland podcast. We're down the basement here again today, that's right. After taking some time off, this is Donnchadh Tiernan, hello, and Rory Moore.
Hello.
It's been a long time since we've been down here. It's been about a month, but I'm afraid the first 2 weeks of that were taken up watching the new Transformers film, and the second 2 weeks were in direct recovery and trying to appreciate the medium again. So having correctly recuperated ourselves, we're ready to re-engage with the critical chasm.
Yeah, I've run out of space on the walls to scratch out those little, marking the days things, because they're claw marks from watching Transformers. It doesn't really...
Oh, God.
It's not pretty.
I mean, all robots and boom boom make... I've been in a coma for how long?
There's a world outside.
All my family are dead. We'll get to that though eventually. I mean, yeah, we're saying nothing new, but hopefully we'll say it more inventively. And now, on the movie news front, seems we've taken so long off.
I think there's actually been 2 Star Wars films since we last recorded.
Well, there's one very prominent piece of news that I would just like to discuss because it's no news to anybody listening, but perhaps they'd like to hear our very enlightened opinions on it. Rian Johnson, a very exciting man in the world of film, an auteur if you will be writing and directing Star Wars Episode 8 as well as scripting 9 at the moment as it stands. Mm-hmm. Now, I know you're a massive Rian Johnson fan. I am too. I'm a very big Rian Johnson fan. I think.
Are you a Brothers Bloom apologist?
No,
a lot of people hate that film. I love it.
I don't see the need for apologising so much for that film. It's definitely the weakest of his 3 films.
But it's still...
Just to fill in now, Rian Johnson is the writer-director of Brick, the high school noir, The Brothers Bloom, I don't know what you'd call it.
Sentimental caper, I don't know. It's
a bit of a camp classic. And then I think his piece de résistance,
nice.
Looper, is just fantastic. His third film, I think it's his best.
Yeah.
Really, really a fantastic movie. I'm very excited to hear him on board with Star Wars, but what?
Yeah, I'm kind of like, is he going to bend to what Star Wars is meant to be for all the fanboys who want it to be, the same as it was in the 70s?
Like,
or is he going to do something new?
If they are actually taking it as a whole brain trust operation, which they seem to be doing, which, to be fair, J.J. Abrams has achieved with mixed results and in other projects. But, like, with Star Wars, I mean, he is a very A-front personal director who makes very, very personal projects. Now, whereas they're not a million miles to the visual palette of a million miles from the visual palette of J.J. Abrams, certainly they're not near as flashbangy. What I'm mainly thinking of when I heard this news is, let's say when Irvin Kershner originally directed Empire Strikes Back, George Lucas was pretty much on set the whole time. Pretty much background directing, giving a guide towards it and shaping it. Now I'm wondering, is J.J. Abrams going to be doing that? Because Rian Johnson has never really... He's not a big, ardent, out there, arrogant director. He makes low-key films that he's able to make himself, and they're generally always original. Yeah. And I doubt he gives much leeway to the studio system.
The other thing is he's very grounded. Like, you say that they're not a million miles away from the same, like, visual style, but I don't know. He's kind of the perfect balance for me between it's become a term in and of itself, Nolanized films, like where films are just, they're too like
BAFTA.
Yeah, like how Godzilla suffered for me. Actually, it was kind of like it didn't need to be like Batman might happen in it's not a million miles away. All you need is a psychopathic billionaire. Godzilla, it's probably never going to happen. I hope this isn't found in wreckage somewhere and people turn around and go.
I just think that, to be fair, I think from a realist standpoint, I'm going to say that both of those stories stand equal chance of happening. So stop allowing the 8-year-old in your brain working the controls.
Batman could happen.
Believe that Batman could happen, because no, it couldn't.
He would just die before we ever heard of him or get arrested.
It would be like Phil Spector. He'd end up shooting a prostitute. Bruce Wayne would just go mad. He'd have like low-level street thugs run around a maze in his garden while he shot them with an arrow.
Well, what I'm convinced is actually going to happen at the end of Dark Knight Rises is 2 days later, Bruce Wayne is on a headline, dead because he tried to fight someone while being old and without any money or armor. But anyway, my point being that Rian Johnson, Looper set in the future, has time travel in, but it always feels grounded. They're great characters.
Star Wars isn't set in the future.
Well, yeah, long time ago. Yeah. I mentioned time travel, didn't I?
Okay.
But basically, I feel like he can kind of give it a nice grounded feel that I don't know. Does Jabrams?
That'll do.
Did I just coin a term? Is that going to be a thing?
Definitely not.
I don't know if he does the same thing for me. So I hope he's not trying to pull the strings in the background. I know he's going to have to, but I hope Bryan Johnson has the kind of indie sensibilities to do his own thing. Plus the fact that he's also scripting the ninth says a lot for me. The fact that he's going to be building storylines that maybe not he's not going to follow through himself. But
and just to clock back on your Jabrams debacle, earlier this week I thought by accident that I had coined Rolf sexual harassment. But it turns out I didn't. I googled it instantly, and it turned out I didn't. So that's our next bit of movie news.
No, Rolf Harris isn't our next bit of movie news.
The phrase "sexual Rolf harassment" does not belong to any Film Ireland journalist. It was come up with by the Daily Mail, probably. Now, a bit of movie news that I have that I'm super excited about. Well, I hope to be. There's American Gods. They're going to make it over at the Stars Network. Now, I am enthusiastic, but a bit wary. As far as their TV department, I go so far I'd rather not talk about it. But what the Stars Network are is they have tried to branch out into an awful lot of different areas of the entertainment business. One of them being they very specifically like script doctors, the likes of Gravity, Lincoln ran through their writing department. So that and they have. If there isn't a great deal of quality, there's a wide array of programming there. Now, American Gods, despite the fact that I love it, would be very easily made awful. Yeah, you could just focus too much on the sexual aspects of the story, get too violent, have the characters be too much quirk about them. It could get really fantastic and lose the kind of Neil Gaiman sensibility that goes with that. Yeah. And that's what I'm afraid of. Like, it needs a lot of darkness, American Gods, and it needs to take its time too, which I'm afraid it might not. My main wariness is in fact that I don't know. Did you see the American produced version of About a Boy that came out this year? The TV show, is it? Yeah. Have you seen it? Yeah, I watch anything with Minnie Driver in it. That's a given. The entire movie is done in the first episode. I just thought that was now that could be something that they could do with over 5 episodes in American Gods. They'd be highly ambitious to try and squeeze the entire book into one episode. Yeah. But I do think that they could get it out of the way relatively easily. But would you want that? No. Yeah, I was going to say you don't want this to be to me, this doesn't need to be take its time, thing. And it's a miniseries, yeah. And you could even insert little new excerpts into the story along the way. Sorry, we're being rude. American Gods is Neil Gaiman's. I think it's the best Neil Gaiman book I've read. It's his book about a man called Shadow who gets out of prison only to discover that his wife is dead, and he gets approached by a man he knows as Mr. White. Mr. Wednesday, that's right, in a white suit. Yes. And he hires him to do a bunch of jobs, and together they travel across America trying to round up the old gods that immigrants from all over the world have taken there with them to combat the new gods of the likes of media and the internet and it's as enthused as a social commentary it seems to be. There are 1 or 2 curveballs in the plot that make it worth it. It's not it's so much more than a heightened metaphor. If this is done right, this will be excellent. This will be what True Blood was trying to be. What worries me though is that HBO were trying to produce this for ages and said they couldn't get the right approach to bring it to screen. And I know it sounds biased, but I can't see Stars having anything up over the writers HBO have access to. I mean, like Stars, like you said, you don't want to linger too much on the stuff they've done before, but the likes of Camelot, Spartacus, they to me are dog shit. Well, it's kind of like after Twilight, you walk through a bookshop and every single book has that font. They're capitalizing on things that have already been done, and that's what Stars are to me. Yeah. But which might be unfair. No, it's not. American Gods it's just there's nothing else really like it out there at the moment. Oh no, there is. That's the thing when you think about it. I hate to say it, but Supernatural, they could it could end up pigeonholed. You could, but this is really, really dense. This is its own little myth. Supernatural is the kind of thing that will take a myth every week and play around with it. But it spins its own. Build a mythology. Yeah. Casting will be very important. I'll if they can get a big old timer for Mr. Wednesday, I'll be convinced.
Well, like a big these big film actors migrating to TV.
Like if they had John Voight as Mr. Wednesday, I'm yours. I'm in. Anyway,
well, that's going to happen anyway. They're going to cast a big name to give it credibility.
Yeah,
but, yeah,
and it probably would be better off with an unknown for Shadow.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, as far as that goes, that's kind of wait and see at the moment, really, isn't it?
Right, I've got one more that I just want to say. We'll say it quick because we was on about this too much. But just as of yet to add to the tragic story that we won't get to see Edgar Wright's Ant-Man, there are yet another writing team on it. This time Andrew Barrer and Gabriel Ferrari, who have to this point had a film that I've never really heard of. Haunt, it's called. They were on the blacklist. These boys have basically never made a movie.
No.
Basically, yeah.
But they're working on something that's already there. What's encouraging to me is the fact that they're on this blacklist, like straight out of film school. They had this unproduced script that it's now being produced.
That just appears to me that Marvel picked two people that they could bully effectively.
Yeah, true, but I mean, I feel like they have to be able to bring something new to it too. I'm wary of the fact that there seems to be a reflex to go for writing duos.
Yeah, these guys are. It seems like it's going to become just a script written in committee, and Paul Rudd and Michael Douglas, poor lads, just standing there with their tools in their hands, wondering what to do. Not even a script to go by. Can you imagine, like?
Yeah, poor Michael Douglas and Paul Rudd.
I was being very sarcastic when I said that. Obviously, they're having the time of their lives, much like Gareth Brooks would if those concerts did get cancelled. People don't realise he wants them to be cancelled. Anyway, please don't cancel the Gareth Brooks shows. And it's a cry out from Film Ireland. Meow, have you got any news for the table, sir?
I have a bit of news, more domestic stuff, I suppose. Film Limerick have announced a new short film funding scheme.
I've heard about this.
Yeah, similar criteria to the film-based schemes and the Galway Film Centre schemes. The whole idea is that all you need from the word go is a script. A short script can't be more than 15 pages in length. You send it in with the director and a producer attached, and you go from there. It'll be read and whittled down, again, based on the quality of the script, and that's when all the production notes and the budgeting and that kind of thing comes on board. But yeah, it's tied into Limerick City of Culture. The only criteria for it is that it'll be a budget of 15 grand, and it has to use Limerick as a location. It's in order to kind of highlight Limerick as a film location. So yeah, that's excellent news, I think, because it's a hefty budget for a short, and I'm always in favour of any kind of scheme that starts with the script.
Yeah.
Conversely, to if we had Michael Douglas and Paul Rudd, they wouldn't be standing with their
be
tools in their hands.
Around. I would prepare a script for those two boys in a day. Yeah. If they were waiting on me. Anything else, sir?
No, that's about it from the home front. Well, we've the Galway Film Flag coming up.
Oh, the Galway Film Flag this week, yeah.
We're gonna wax poetic about that once I've actually seen something. But yeah, hoping to catch a few screenings. There's going to be a big Film Ireland kind of visibility. Well, I say visibility. There's going to be a big presence in terms of. I think we've someone going to every film, so hopefully we'll have a lot to say about that next week. And
yeah, hopefully we'll have some more people who were at the Film Flag on the next podcast. We'll try and put something together specifically for that, I'd say.
Yeah.
Now, well, let's get to the centerpiece of our show, our homework section. Our homework section.
I thought I was done with school, but yeah.
Right. We thought we were going for biopics, but it didn't really turn out like that. But there were both films that are based on real people.
Like Batman.
And I hit you up with The Madness of King George. Rory, what do you think?
In short, loved it. Again, I'm waiting for you to give me a dud, and it hasn't happened yet. In terms of a film, I'd equate this with, and I was telling you earlier, I knew within 10 minutes that this had to be based on a play or written by a playwright, and it was. In fact, it's based on a play by Alan Bennett. I think he adapted it himself as well. It reminded me of, I don't know if you've ever seen Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead.
Oh, I have seen
Tom Stoppard. Yeah, it's just that kind of, it's not heavy on the visuals, it's all about the performance and the dialogue, and just the madness of the world it's set in, I suppose.
Yeah, it goes a fair whack to highlight that.
Yeah, like I was 20 minutes in thinking, because it starts with, I suppose you don't see King George for the first 10 minutes, it starts with his subordinates kind of bustling around preparing for him to arrive, and obviously anyone who knows, I suppose, I should give a quick story. I think it's King George III, I think he was, but basically the crazy one, the mad one who had to abdicate later in his life to his son, and it's kind of commonly known today that he was afflicted by, I think it's porphyria or something it's called, but at the time they just thought he was a loon. But this is set during, I think it's the Regency crisis of, I don't remember the year, but basically it was the first time that they properly had to have him committed because he was seen as incapable of looking after himself and thus a kingdom. And kind of, I suppose, his fight to regain his senses. But,
who do they have playing the Doctor again?
Bilbo Baggins, Ian Holm.
Ian Holm, that's right.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah. But yeah, basically, the first 20 minutes I thought I was watching an episode of Blackadder because it's just snide British nobles going around, making shitty remarks to one another.
Ridiculously.
Yeah, and like you say, it makes no effort to hide that. Yeah, it was fantastic. It was really. I was kind of disputing whether it's actually a biopic because it focuses, it draws an arc from a specific episode of his life, which is his fall, his
it's very much a capturing a moment piece, though.
Yeah.
Because there are echoes of as well the like jealousy in the English Civil War, running around what the Prince of Wales tries to make happen. Just that inter-family pettiness. But overall, I thought it was brought together by really warm central performances.
Yeah, like
I thought everybody was very, very good when I saw it.
Yeah.
It's been a few years since
you
I've seen
had
it.
Nigel Hawthorne and Helen Mirren as the king and queen, and there's actually a nice central relationship there. Usually when I see a king and queen relationship on screen, I'm kind of like, okay, either arranged marriage or, they're English cold nobles, but there's actually, they call one another Mr. King and Mrs. King, and it's a really nice relationship. Nigel Hawthorne is fantastic in it. Like, he goes from, I thought he was going to be a bit of a caricature, which I was fine with. It was really, really entertaining, but he does hit lows, and especially when Ian Holm comes in as a doctor who's basically commits him.
I loved his relationship with the Chamber Boys and stuff.
Yeah,
like he became good mates with them, didn't he?
I can't remember the name of the actor, but the guy Rupert Graves is the guy who plays Lestrade on Sherlock at the moment. Yeah, he had a kind of a, I don't know, surrogate son relationship with him, but I won't reveal what happens at the end of the film, despite the fact that it's history. But it's really, really, really good and surprising highs and lows. It's not the most visually engaging thing you'll ever see, but as I say, when it was based on a play, the strength is in the dialogue, the strength is in the characters, so definitely worth a watch.
And now I've got La Vie en la Rose, which was the first big film from Oliver Dehan, that's it, writer director of Grace of Monaco, which famously and recently ridiculed. Now, La Vie en la Rose is shot wonderfully. Much as, actually, to be fair, Grace of Monaco looks from the trailer. It looks like it's shot really well.
Yeah, but that's a perfume ad.
And it's good cinematography. Now, it captures... It's the biopic of tragic French singer Edith Piaf. Lost many loves in her lifetime, had drug problems. But she was just the voice of France for a long, long time. It juggles with different time periods. Like, switches around constantly from her old age to her childhood, early teen years, her years as a star, as a diva, her years in love with a French boxer named Marcel, was married, became an international scandal. Now, it's all put back. Marion Cotillard plays all the roles except the childhood Edith, and that's a major positive for the film that you can name. She's fantastic. It's shot brilliantly. The period pieces are really, really caught well. This is a man who likes shooting luxury. Really, the champagne looks so delicious in this film. For me, it wasn't. For me, it wasn't held together by a center really so much. I could get the direct he was trying to highlight something other than celebrating the life and music of Edith Piaf, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find the objective way to look in. Now, in the end, it's glorious when she sings that wonderful song. I believe she actually wrote it for the film Inception. Je ne regrette rien. And that's fantastic because we have... and as well... I can't... She won an Oscar, didn't she, Marion Cotillard? Can't accredit it enough. She is fantastic in this film. Really, really something. And the makeup and everything is great as well. The Edith Piaf had very protruding teeth and that, and she really rocks it. She's really very good, and the body language of a diva. Now, that it's pretty much for me. It was a 4-star film, and it would have been a 5-star film if it didn't seem to have this notion that it needed to say something more other than to just tell her life story.
Yeah. Like, I think this is probably the counterpoint to when I say The Madness of King George didn't feel like a biopic because it focused on a specific episode. Levian Rose could have used that, although its strength is that it's kind of...
It seemed to think her whole life was a moment, is a thing. Like, for me now, like, my favourite biopic, embarrassing though it is to say sometimes, I love Gandhi. I love the film Gandhi.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. It's 3 and a bit plus hours, but it has no meaning other than the celebration of his life.
Yeah.
It's like he was an amazing person. And I think watching La Vie en la Rose and where Edith Piaf came from and how she made it, I think that would have been enough for this.
Yeah. Well, no.
The Aviator is another great example. They just said this was an amazing man.
Yeah, but I suppose that's focusing on a guy who, like, it's a descent into insanity, despite the fact that he's, like, I tie that to The Madness of King George before anything else.
But that it stretches out over an entire lifetime.
Yeah.
Now, La Vie en la Rose does this too, but I can't gather what extra meaning he's trying to attach to her life so much. But I think if it had just been a breast-beating film about triumph in France, it would work better for me. Still thought it was excellent.
Yeah.
Really, really good. It was unusual that they just kind of missed World War II for me personally.
That didn't happen.
Yeah, it was a bit strange for me. But overall, yeah, I thought it was really good, and as well, it was easy, pleasant watching, which I would watch again. The music is fantastic.
That's the thing. Biopics usually for me feel I'm in a different viewing mode when I watch them, and that's why The Madness of King George was such a pleasant surprise, because it was genuinely entertaining. Whereas, it's kind of like you say, you were looking for something in La Vie en Rose. I'm always like that in watching biopics, but this did kind of just suck me in, and I think the reason for that is you never see her at her height. It doesn't start with her young, beautiful Marion Cotillard. It starts with her as a kid, and then you see Marion Cotillard when she's old. Also, instant Oscar for any young, beautiful actress who can look old and shambling and lispy. But
she's brilliant in it. I can't imagine there having been anyone. I don't know who the other nominees were that year, but I can't imagine anyone having been better than her that year.
Yeah. But so overall, 4 stars.
4 stars. Dirt. Meow. We've got some reviewing to do. Now, first of all, let's start off with a rather pleasant one that we've both seen.
This is the sweet pill we take before talking about Bayhead.
Dean DeBlas' sequel to the 2011's How to Train Your Dragon, aka How to Train Your Dragon 2, is just fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I suppose the key thing is for people to have seen the first one, for us to say that this is high praise, to say that it's a great film, because the first one was very, very, very
First
good.
one is very good. And I didn't expect it to be either.
Yeah. And I had the same thing with this. Like, I was going to go see it out of genuine enjoyment from the first, but I was willing to allow it. How very gracious of you. But I was expecting it to be
to
more
slum
of the
it
same.
a little bit,
But it absolutely does not.
It's better than the first one,
without a doubt.
And I love the first one. This is more ambitious as well. Right, for the first 10 minutes, they give us a very frank reminder of why we love the first one so much. And it was during those 10 minutes I was thinking, it's going to be more of the same, but that's okay because I'm really enjoying this. They had this sport called dragon racing with the unnecessary cruelty to sheep. And it shows we're back in their village of Burke with Hiccup and the lads using the dragons to survey a wider land.
One race enslaving another, you might say. There are deep undertones to this film.
But then it just straight away when you just think it's more thrill writing, they actually, I write this in my review now for this film, they actually get to touch with some rather relevant and touching themes in this film. As the plot broadens and he meets his estranged mother, played by Cate Blanchett here, and they meet dragon hunters, and then an antagonist who's exactly as evil as he sounds, by the name of Drago Bloodfist.
He's an action figure. Like, every line of dialogue he has is you pull a string and that comes out.
He's a bad man. But this film did the Toy Story 2 on it. I loved Toy Story 2.
Yeah, and I'd even say Shrek 2, the kind of thing where it doesn't just rest on its laurels and feed you the same thing. It kind of...
I like Shrek 2.
Huh? You don't like Shrek 2? We'll argue about that another time. It's all positive. It's How to Train Your Dragon at the moment.
It was fantastic. Jay Baruchel, fantastic again, returning. They make the jump ahead of, like, basically exactly what 22 to Jump Street lampoons they don't do. The characters get older, they've got scars, love interests and the things like that have developed essentially. But then what it does is it takes that slightly developed frame, and they do the same thing that Toy Story 2 does again, in that the animation is crispier, beards are more lush. Like, that's where they make the big visual changes.
You can see, like, I think there's one scene where Gerard Butler's character, Stoic, Hiccup's father, he's walking around and he rubs his neck, and you can see dirt moving when he rubs it. It rubs off, and I was just sitting there kind of like, that was unnecessary. I wouldn't have noticed.
Lovely little details.
Yeah,
it's like I always... I hate... well, no, I don't hate, because I love the movie. Bring it up again, like in Toy Story 2, where you can see the dust from the cheese poofs on your man's hand while he's asleep. Little things like that.
They don't need to go that, like, it's Paul Greengrass as a toddler type shots, you know. You have the camera tied to people's shoulders, following them around. You know, it's really, really good.
It was very but then the way that they actually choose to make their real go at expanding it is in terms of a genuine mythology, which really works.
Yeah, I remember the first one. I was kind of like, okay, so it's Vikings with dragons with Scottish accents and American accents, and I was kind of, but at the moment, 10 minutes into this, I was on board with whatever they were showing us. Also notable for it has, like you were talking about, it being kind of dealing with relevant and possibly more grown up themes. Like, I think it's
understanding.
Key, yeah, but I think it's key to remember that this is a kids' film, because there was one moment I caught myself where you happen upon, again, I suppose, the relationship between Hiccup and, is it Astrid? The love interest. I won't even call her just a love interest. She's genuinely not reduced to that. But they have a kind of a nice cutesy relationship that really reminded me of Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone in Spider-Man. I kind of resented that at first. I was like, it's too cutesy, it's easy, stop trying to make me relate to them just because they're, you know, there's a bit of banter. But then I just had to sit back and go, you know, what do I want here? For Hiccup to turn around to Astrid and say, you know, we need to take some time apart so I can realise, you know, I can figure out if my feelings for Toothless are sexual as well as everything. It doesn't need to be gritty. Like, it's really just a lot of fun, and not even check your brain in at the door, but just check the cynicism and sit down and enjoy it.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing. Cynicism has no place in a film like this.
No.
It's way too much fun. Also, I think do they go for gay undertones in it?
I think
Did
so.
you pick up on this too?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is great, isn't it?
Yeah, that is kind of just unspoken.
Yeah, but it's brilliant.
Yeah,
and because I've asked a few people and everybody got the same gist off of that line. I won't go into what it is, but there's like a nudge at anti-homophobia. I don't know what the word is, but it's more understanding. It's really good.
Being a person, I think, is the phrase you're looking for.
Being sound, like. It was really good. Special shout out to being able to pull off introducing different plot threads to different things that could have just been gimmicks throughout, and having them work at the plot, like Hiccup flying off Toothless's back.
Yeah.
Like when they managed to wing that. When they managed to wing that into the plot, I was very impressed. Anyway, gushed enough. Definitely go see this one. I've seen it twice already, and I'd easily go see it again.
Yeah, I'd call it the perfect kids film pure because it's the one that you're going to drag your kid along to 5 times just to justify you seeing it.
Meow.
In fact, I think we should have a child just so we can go see it again. Does that sound?
Do not take your child to Transformers: The Age of Extinction. Please
Unless you
don't.
really don't like them, like leave them there. If it's a form of punishment.
If you want to turn them out to be boring, dullard people, like I can only assume the masses who are happily coughing up their hard-earned wages to see this mind-numbing crap, then by all means take your children to Transformers 4: Age of Extinction.
Yeah.
But now, first of all, I must admit openly, I am not as fully qualified to review this film as you.
Cards on the table.
I could only stand it for an hour and 20 minutes. And that's an hour and 20 minutes, let's say, how much? 80 minutes of a 165-minute running time.
Yeah.
That's true. Now, I will just name out 2 particular pet peeves of mine that were in this film, and then my favourite line in the film, and then I'm done, because there's been enough scorn heaped on this. First of all, out of any number of things to pick out of the bag that I hated out of it, one of the real reasons that contributed to me leaving is the music in this film is so bad and so didactic in terms of just the combination of images and what you're meant to feel.
Yeah.
It's genuinely offensive to the human soul, and I wonder is Michael Bay even a person?
This is the thing. I need to preface anything I say about this film with that I went in very willing to have my mind changed. I actually enjoy the first film. It's fine. Did not enjoy the second one. Loathed it, actually. Did not see the third one because of that, and went to see this because there's been all these claims of a new direction, and, you know, fool me once, shame on. You know, basically. I was willing to be on board with this new direction that all the pre-production notes have been talking about, you know, all the actors coming out saying it's new direction. We have an Irish actor in a prominent role, Jack Rayner. You know,
Jack Rayner.
Well, I went to see the premiere with...
I'm glad you got a big paycheck, Jack Rayner. That's what I'm glad about.
Yeah, I'm glad you can go on and do something else now.
Is he even Irish in the film?
He is. It is. There's a Lucky Charms
hold on.
joke.
Don't we have to give a synopsis? Don't we have to...
Is there one?
Mark Wahlberg and his daughter, he's an inventor.
We know that because he wears glasses twice in the film.
That's
just so you know.
That's true, yeah. And he has an angry robot dog outside the front. Right, Mark Wahlberg and his daughter, who I think they might be trying to actually angle some strange incestuous situation in that, because the body language between Mark Wahlberg and his on-screen daughter is just frankly inappropriate. Yeah, and he discovers a transformer in his in a particular nice self-nodding moment to Michael Bay, actually, where he's clearing out an old cinema.
Yeah.
The cinema owner says no, they just want to see rubbish jumped up computer sequels nowadays. How cynical is this man?
Where did he think he was going after that?
How cynical is this man, like Michael Bay? Then he discovers Optimus Prime, and the government come along. We're supposed to think they're the bad guys to tell him we don't want Transformers anymore. And I'm totally on the government side, because since the Transformers have arrived, nothing but trouble. As well, I think the US government in this film are taking a bit of a Soviet Russia wing on the death toll numbers from Transformers 3, in which they claim a catastrophe that is seemingly, 9/11 set beside a bunch of bathroom mirrors on either walls. That's how big the Battle of Chicago was. Apparently only 1,500 people died in it, which they're clocking as a big number, but it's just not responsible violence. Do you know what I mean?
Were you expecting responsible violence from
No,
this?
but don't give a ballpark figure. Just ignore it. That's more respectful than saying
it was really bad.
Than saying 1,500 people. Now, the other thing that I really hated, a great deal about this, is the amount of times that it slowed down to show us that, even in an awful lot of big budget crap, they'll have a new gadget or something to tickle your interest with. They don't even bother with those in this. This is just...
no, they do. Sorry, they do. They have a new gadget that is literally a note taken from a 12-year-old boy. They have a sword that is also a gun. That's
I didn't actually stay for that then. I didn't stay for that. Although I did see that in the promotional material. Yeah. And do you know what? It was outside another press screening that I overheard somebody say, I think it was for Jersey Boys, I overheard somebody say when they were looking at the promotional material, it's got Optimus Prime on the back of a dinosaur and a sword, what more do you need? And I was just thinking, I don't know, a month in a Buddhist monastery or something.
But I get where that kind of comment is coming from, because these films they just need to be fun. But they're not.
No.
Yeah, I think I'll just be very clear about what I think about it, and then I'll stop talking about it, because we can wax on about it. But again, like you say, it's just piling.
I got to say my favourite line though before the end.
Absolutely. Yeah. But my biggest issue with this is that it's like everything in it is designed to just overpower the senses all the time. And it's jarring, and it just throws you out of any kind of immersion. The characters were reduced to bad one-liners. Like, there's some grand comic relief in it. You would have missed it if you left that early, but Stanley Tucci, is it? Is that how you pronounce his name? He's, first of all, too good for this film, but he's very good in it. He has like a few quips. He's a really campy kind of, Steve Jobs effort. He's the head
something
of
like that.
He's a tech mogul.
I did see him in it.
Yeah, he has a more prominent role towards the end. That's fine, but it's just there's no equating. There's no.
And what happened with the woman in white at the start who just disappears? She sees a dinosaur in the snow.
She comes back into it, yeah. The main thing you can say about female roles in this film is they're certainly there. They're absolutely there. Yeah, you even have the Transformers are horrible racial stereotypes. Like, there's one who spouts a haiku at one point.
I've seen that, yeah. Oh, God. Take the paycheck, lads. Take the paycheck. Yeah. This is real bad. So, yeah,
give us your line. Give us the high point of the film.
Yeah, the high point of the film is this. The government, they come onto Mark Wahlberg's land. He says, in description of Optimus Prime, he's just a harmless robot. Answer, a harmless robot that killed 1,500 people. Hey, I thought you people need a warrant. The warrant's my face. That makes the cut. Okay, we're done. Don't go see it. Leave it alone. Let's not mention it again. Now, another one we both saw. Another lovely little pleasant indie surprise from this year. Cold in July.
Yes. I stumbled into this by accident, actually. I went in looking for another screening of How to Train Your Dragon, and I was promptly told that I'm a grown man and I should see something else. So I went to see Cold in July. And was really, really surprised by it.
Yeah, really liked it. It's...
Quick synopsis, I suppose.
Yeah.
You have what's his name? The actor who plays Dexter, Michael. Oh God, I'll come back to that. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, you've this southern kind of everyman, nice guy, family guy, and the film opens with him basically waking up in bed alongside his wife, and there's a noise downstairs. So he very reluctantly goes and picks up the gun and goes down, and basically what happens is, this all happens in the first 10 minutes, it's not a spoiler, he kills the intruder by accident. And basically the feeling of around the town, everyone's kind of congratulating him, saying, you know, you did what was right, you defended your home, don't feel bad about it. He can't really shake off the guilt, and things kind of start to kick off when the murdered criminal's father turns up at the funeral, newly released from prison on parole, and begins to stalk his family. And it kind of takes from there, but it takes a lot of unexpected turns that really
it does.
Yeah.
This is seemingly thematically relevant storyline with a lot of pulpy twists in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought I was in watching a better funded but probably slightly less interesting version of Blue Ruin for a while. I was like, oh, it's going to be one of these tense domestic things for a while, but no, it takes some turns.
It gets fair pulpy, like.
Yeah, it turns into a comic book.
Very good though. I loved Sam Shepard in it.
Yeah, he was fantastic. That's actually, I'd say his arrival is a point where it just becomes a different film.
Yeah, but he's brilliant.
Yeah, not in a bad way. It's genuinely really entertaining.
Really, it's like redneck Raymond Carver fiction. This film.
Yeah.
This was a big surprise for me. Again, it doesn't quite soar to the heights of Blue Ruin, but you can definitely lob it in the same genre slice of grotesque underbelly Americana.
Basically, this kind of film is it's what Out of the Furnace tried to kind of fetishize, I suppose. Not that that's a bad film. I actually did enjoy that, but this is it's much more grounded, and even when it takes these odd turns, a little bit towards the end, it got a bit too shootery for me. There's a lot of slow-mo moments and badass walks, and I was kind of like, okay, you've done enough that I'm still on board. But overall,
great fun.
Yeah, really, really worth watching. And yeah, a nice mash of, like, it's genuinely tense and frightening at times, but there are enough twists and turns.
And to be honest, when it did become pulpy, I actually breathed a sigh of relief, because one thing that I think can be a problem in cinema is it cropped up most recently to my mind in Green Zone, the Paul Greengrass film, is that I think tackling an issue like this fictitiously when it's still so relevant in the news and actually trying to deliver on the answers, it can come across as a mite premature and disrespectful. And I'm talking, of course, with this story with relevance to the Zimmerman case. Yeah. Because to be fair, it's very nobody knows quite how they feel about it, about any of that yet, I don't think, because it hasn't been resolved. It's a major issue. That sort of thing can't happen again. And I felt the same thing with Green Zone. It sort of painted like it sort of gave you the answer. There were no weapons of mass destruction, and they were bad people. And
it's a story you can't tie a bow on yet, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was actually quite relieved when they went all pulpy on it, because the shooting itself, and that was enough to bring the whole issue to mind, and then to explore it with a completely fictitious ending that wasn't in any way didactic, with regards to gun control and things like that. Yeah. I thought it really worked. The evolution to badass was there's so much of that going on in this film.
Yeah, and they're just, when it kind of takes a pulpy turn, I don't know, like I say, it's done enough that you're on board with it, but it's almost like it's a different film for the second hour. Just as enjoyable, but definitely worth seeing. It'll surprise you, especially given, like, it has quite a bland poster. The premise is mildly interesting. The trailer was fine, but it's actually one that has been done a disservice, I would say, in marketing. It's to be honest, it should be making more money than it has been, because it's I know once people see this film, you'll hear an awful lot of people talking back. It's what people expected when they went to see Killing Them Softly. Which the general public didn't really warm to that. I quite liked it. This is good. I'd recommend this to. Would be a safe enough one to bring up at a dinner party, is what it would be. Yeah, absolutely. And if you're going to see it soon, because I think it's probably out of the cinemas quite soon.
It is, yeah. It's in its last run in Limerick anyway. Yeah. Now, next up, I have a film. I can't really gush enough about this. The Golden Dream. I've seen pretty much all the big Cannes screeners from last year now. This was my favourite one. It's directed by Diego Canales Diaz, who worked as a cameraman. He's worked as a cameraman in Hollywood for the last 3 decades with this idea for this film in mind for the last decade. He's worked with everybody, this film. Now, I interviewed him for Film Ireland. The sound quality wasn't up to scratch. We were going to cut the interview into the podcast, but mostly transcription of the interview will appear on the Film Ireland website, and I'd really recommend you click into reading it because it's extraordinarily well written, and Diego is a very interesting dude. Very humble dude as well, but yeah, this was my favourite from last year. This tells the story of 3 teenagers from Guatemala who decide to leave poverty there and walk to the United States. They meet an Indian boy along the way who they befriend, and they continue to walk, and it's all about just regular hardships. Now, Ken Loach, he's worked with Ken Loach on 3 separate occasions. Now, he's championed this film, and a lot of people are saying that this guy is his protege, but this film is far too ambitious in everything it sets out to do to be called the work of anybody's protege. It's very much because, first of all, not all there's hardly a scene in the film where everybody on screen speaks the same language, so it really does go the extra distance to tell the story with images. I know it was shot in sequence and shot with non-actors, and you can pick up on that sort of thing. And camera moves so organically. It's very easy to tell that they're non-actors. I really, really enjoy this. I'd go as far as to say this. Well, this isn't the week that How to Train Your Dragon 2 came out. This would be my film of the week, and it's still playing at the IFI, and I really recommend people get along to see it because it is. It'll be fascinating to see what this guy does next. Yeah. It's as well. The entire script is constructed from. He interviewed 600 illegal immigrants over the last 10 years. These are all real stories told, and it's also given this. But his main seed idea in making the film was to take these Latin American folk songs about the whole emigration journey and sort of tell them with pictures to just try it at a different medium. And for that, he felt he had to research, and as such, the film moves at a very organic rhythm where it seems like the things that are happening are just intruding on their lives as opposed to things that somebody wrote. Yeah. Like, it's really, really good. It just happens at such a great pace, nearly like a Robert Altman film. So, yeah, I'd really recommend that. And I've got one more, which I'm going to pop into, which is Melissa McCarthy's new comedy vehicle, Tammy, which is everything you're expecting, really. A bit of a disappointment. She wrote it with Bill Falcone. I thought actually her and her husband, Bob Falcone, he plays her
boss in it.
No,
the Air Marshal,
the Air Marshal in Bridesmaids, and I thought that was pretty much the best part of that film. He wrote this with her. Susan Sarandon stars as their mother. They embark on a Thelma and Louise type road trip. They do go out of their way to just escape from Hollywood cliches of women just either being, entertaining because they're slightly manly. Like, they do try to give some independent streams of character and opinions on things, and they try to deliver them in a way that doesn't reflect exactly that whole boisterous bromance side of Hollywood, which I think is a fall down an awful lot of female movies can make. Just make your own female movie, essentially. Yeah. Now, for that, it should kind of be congratulated, but essentially from the start they're going for a comedy here, and they just have not got the laughs. It's just poorly conceived attempts at crass humour and poorly shot, unrealised, under-rehearsed and under-edited slapstick. Basically, they had money to spend on a budget, so they knocked down a burger shack, that sort of thing.
Yeah, they go the awkward humour route, basically, where it's...
Yeah, it's not good. I wasn't expecting much, but it's just kind of dull, and there's nothing worse than a dull comedy.
Any dramatic
maybe Transformers 4. Extinction.
But any kind of dramatic merit to weigh it out, even? I would think when you have
Susan Sarandon has still got it. She's still got a great screen presence and the legs. But no, she's quite good in it, quite entertaining. There is a fun part where there's a scene that has a run-in with lesbians at a 4th of July party, which could have done better, but again, I'm only picking out of things because I didn't want to hate on it so much. It's just not funny. Yeah. Definitely not funny. You can miss this. A lot of people won't because she's a bit of a box office draw, but I've never really been a big fan of anything she's done, even Bridesmaids. I think the centerpiece of that film, where everybody defecates in the bridal shop, is just deplorable. It's not funny at all. So yeah, I'm not really too gone on her. I wasn't really too surprised.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's disappointing to hear, because I was actually, when I saw that she was writing, and it was kind of, I thought it would be Ben Stiller's Greenberg, which people would argue isn't a great film, but I thought it would be her kind of slipping free from whatever she's been typecast.
I like Greenberg. You saw one more this week.
I did indeed, and this one I'm not going to say too much about it because the release date is actually quite a bit off yet. It's out in mid-August, so I'm hoping you're going to get to another press screening. There might be another one soon, and we can talk about it properly. But yeah, anyway, it's David Michaud. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
This is the one with Guy Pearce?
Yeah, The Rover.
I don't want to hear anything.
I'm going to talk about it very briefly, and I'll say no more. You have Guy Pearce and Robert Pattinson. This is the same director who did it's a film you've been trying to get me to watch for ages, and I have yet to, but I will definitely now.
Animal Kingdom is amazing.
Yeah. But anyway, brief stroke story. It's post-apocalyptic as far as that goes. Set in Australia 10 years after.
Do you like post-apocalyptic things?
They're alright, people are quiet and they leave me alone. I think if everyone else is dead, I'll get a bit of quiet. But anyway, set 10 years after this unnamed collapse. It's quite like The Road in that you never find out what happens, and 10 minutes in you stop caring, and that that's not going to be the centerpiece of it. And it's about an unnamed rover, clever, kind of thing there, who has his car stolen and basically sets out to get it back, and along the way takes a hostage, I suppose, the brother of one of the men who stole his car, played by Robert Pattinson. And yeah, from there it's just I wouldn't even say it takes turns you don't expect. Like, the moment this starts, it's not something that you're going to figure out as a regular three act structure to, or
I've been excited about this for as long as I've seen Animal Kingdom. This guy, I can't see Animal Kingdom. Anyone who's listening who hasn't seen it, this guy is an exemplary storyteller. He really finds the different way to look inside something.
Yeah. It throws, again, I won't go into too much detail because I don't want to spoil it, but it throws, when I'm in a film, I'm even unconsciously trying to figure out where it'll go, or what the beats are, or even things like how the soundtrack works, because I'm pretentious and stuff. But this just threw me off so many times, but in the best possible way, because it's quite like Blue Ruin in that there's just a kind of a ball in your stomach throughout the whole thing, and you don't know what's going to happen. And yeah, it's not. I don't know. I don't think it's trying to say anything. It's just unrelenting. Dark is even the wrong term, because it's not trying for that. It's just really, really bleak, really, really empty. It feels like it. I mean, it's shot in Australia, but the landscape in it. It feels like he just went out in the outback. It doesn't feel like anyone ever had to shut down a road so he could shoot here. He found places where there is just no one. There is nothing happening. And I'd actually give a big shout out to, this is the best role I've ever seen Robert Pattinson in. He is fantastic. And that's
really looking forward to that, and I will see a press screening of my own for that. Now, just to dole out some more homework, in accordance with the Galway Film Fly happening this week, I thought we'd go with Irish films. So I'm going to maybe see. Have you ever seen Neil Jordan's adaptation of Pat McCabe's book
Breakfast on Pluto?
Breakfast on Pluto. That's the one. Okay, well,
I'll give that a go.
Give it a go.
And this would be, I suppose, related to one I'm hoping to catch at the film festival even, which is Gerard Bart's Glasslands with Jack Rayner's next role, which I hope is better than Transformers. So I will give you his first film, Pilgrim Hill, which was shot.
I've not seen it.
$5,000 loan from the credit union. It's kind of the one that kind of, I suppose, got him to the position that he can now make whatever he wants, I suppose. So yeah, I'd be interested to see what you think of that.
I'll be interested to watch it. All right, that's us. That's it for us in the basement. Now, we're gonna.
You said basement. I heard bay, and I actually shuddered a bit. That's the headspace I'm in right now.
To be honest, we're definitely. I don't reckon we're gonna miss the next bi-weekly launch, because we plan on staying in this basement until Age of Extinction is out of cinemas, and by the looks of its initial box office receipts, that could be another 3 weeks.
It'll be a world quite like The Rover when we're finished, I imagine.
All right. Well, I'm Donnchadh Tiernan.
I'm Ruairí Moore.
And Wait, I have a Mrs. Doubtfire quote to end it.
God.
Just because we don't love each other anymore doesn't mean we don't love you.
No, we're taking that child and we're bringing it down to Train Your Dragon. Anyway, until next time.
Bye-bye.